Hello, Mumbai moms, and hello to all the people who are watching us from Ritu's page. Also, I'm quite excited to have someone amazing on my live today, who's a subject expert who's like very coveted. हम सब चाहते हैं कि ऐसे बंदे से मिले जो हमें ये बताए हमारे बच्चों के करियर के लिए हम करें क्या. The biggest dilemma we all have is around our career, our kids' career, and even the future trends in their kids' careers. So यहाँ पे है Ritu Vasan, who's an accomplished educator, a career consultant. She's the founder and the CEO of the career counseling firm Edu Crossroad Consulting. You can see her number there. It's located in Mumbai and it caters to students, clients pan India. She has an extensive experience of over 16 years, and that too not just in education sector but also in the corporate line. She has been working closely with students since last 7 years, mothers, and she has been a teacher, mentor, and a guide to all her students. Apart from this, you'll be happy to know she has also have a very, I would say, enriching experience, a corporate experience as HR and hiring consultant also, which gives her a lot of knowledge and even insights into various functional domains across different sectors. In fact, when I was talking to Ritu offline, I was saying you are making the students from campus to corporate ready. And I suppose because Ritu, you have an experience that amazing. And first of all, let me start by saying a thank you for coming on Facebook Live.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the entire team of Unimo.
I'm sure after this live, our mothers will be more thankful to you. And mothers, the best part is when I spoke to Ritu, the most exciting part of bringing her on live was that a lot of people today open their counseling, offices and academies without really having an expertise in that specific field. Maybe because of the experience or, whatever learnings they would have had in their career. But Ritu here is a professional, qualified person who has a lot of degrees and the valid certifications to be in this expert chair today. Ritu, I know it's like khud ka tareef karna, but please let our viewers know about your impressive resume.
Thank you, Neha, and good afternoon, mommies. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me here. Neha has said so much about me. I don't know if I'm that credit worthy or not, but yes, but yes, I've done a lot, and my education has been in. So I did my bachelor's in chemistry after my schooling. I did my master's in design and technology from NIFT Delhi. Then I did my BEd. I completed my certification in global career counseling from University of California, Los Angeles, and University Singapore. And I've been guiding, mentoring students since I think about 7 years now. So it has been a journey, and I'm excited to share my experiences and my journey, my knowledge with you all.
And what's exciting for me to read in here, Mother, she's also certified as a super counselor. Okay, तो अभी हम start करते हैं super counselor से बातें. In fact, I will try to keep our communication in Hindi and English mixed so that all the mothers can get benefit from it. First question, I'm sorry Ritu, मैं script को stick नहीं कर रही हूँ. मैं चाहती हूँ आपसे फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो पूछ लूँ वो ये है जो सारी मदर्स के मन में डायलेमा है. आई बीइंग अ मदर ऑफ ट्विंस, आई हैव दिस डायलेमा. आई एम श्योर व्हेन यू सिट इन अ चेयर वेयर लॉट ऑफ पेरेंट्स कम टू यू, दे वुड हैव आल्सो आस्क्ड यू द सेम क्वेश्चन व्हाट आई एम आस्किंग यू नाउ. यार इतनी सारी बोर्ड्स के ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल हैं, which board to choose? Can you elaborate different boards in our country today, like there's CBSE, ICSE, HSC, even IB, A levels. मतलब IGCSE, I thought my boys are in IGCSE, so I'm sorted. Then somebody tells me A level diploma and all. Oh, so please बताओ.
Of course. I know, I understand. There's a lot of dilemma here, and बहुत सारे parents मेरे पास आते हैं पूछने के लिए कि क्या options available हैं और क्या advantages हैं, disadvantages हैं. तो मैं पहले ये कहना चाहूँगी for all the parents, for you and for the entire team, that any education is important. Yeah. Irrespective of the board that the child studies in, every single education, every single experience is important for the child. Having said that, there are different boards in India, national curriculums and international curriculums, and they all come with their own pluses and minuses.
Okay.
It's up to the child to capitalize on the opportunity that is being given to them.
Okay.
Having said that, let's consider. So we are listening a lot of talk about IB boards coming in.
Yeah.
Now let's understand why the IB boards are coming in now. It's because of the emergence of international curriculum, the increase in disposable incomes,
yeah,
and and a lot of parents are sending their children to overseas.
Right.
And that's why it's very important that we understand that is IB the only solution, or there are other boards that we can talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's come to national boards first. So HSC is a state board in Maharashtra. We know all that. Now there are it is assumed that HSC सबसे easy है. Lot of children opt for HSC means junior colleges here, like Mithibai, Jai Hind, all those colleges. Lot of parents assume that HSC is easy. Score आ जाएगा, but actually it's not that true.
Okay.
And I tell you the reason. Now HSC, you have to learn 8 subjects. It's compulsory 8 subjects for 11th and 12th in HSC. In junior college, if you take admission, you have to study 8 subjects.
Okay.
Children lose a lot of discipline because they're not in the disciplined environment anymore. It's a college environment for them. So they lose a lot of discipline, and and because of that, they feel distracted also.
Correct.
And hence the scores drop.
Okay.
If you compare the HSC and CBSE, ICSE scores or ISC scores, percentages, you will see that HSC is always falling behind. So when most of the students in CBSE and ISC, above average students also are scoring 90% plus, this kind of percentage is only reserved for cream dala cream in HSC.
Okay.
So the percentages are actually not too great in HSC.
Okay, so the myth, it's a myth.
It's a myth. Though, and it's easy. I'm not saying it's not easy. It is easy, but because kids are involved in a lot of other things and they lose the discipline of the school, the fall happens.
Drop.
Yeah. The second thing which is also very important to consider is that HSC, I would recommend to the students who are very focused about that they want to appear for their JEs or for their NEET exam, and that's the only focus.
Okay.
Then they can concentrate only on that because there are integrated courses within the HSC sphere, which they're integrated, like you have Pace College, you have other Allen Institute or other things which collaborate with the HSC curriculum, but then children are only doing their exam preparation, entrance exam preparation.
Okay.
And hence also the scores of HSC drop.
Okay, because the focus
Because
is
the focus is
on
the entrance exams, in engineering as well as NEET.
Okay.
So I would recommend for people who are very, very sure that they only want to do engineering or medical from India, they must
Okay.
where they don't want anything else. Okay? Because then they will get the opportunity to study better. Coming to CBSE. Now CBSE is also relevant and very important for those who want to do engineering and medical, because the JEE entrance exam and the NEET entrance exam is based on CBSE pattern.
Okay. So then you have advantage.
You have the advantage there. Though it's not ISC.
Okay.
Right? Now, ISC is very exhaustive as compared to CBSE. CBSE is less exhaustive. In ISC, you have to, ISC is basically grade 12 of the ICSE board. So, in ISC, you have to study 4-5 subjects, as is in the case of CBSE, but ISC is very exhaustive. It is more research-based and application-based as compared to CBSE. But there is also a lot of exposure in humanities and English.
Okay.
Lot of focus. So if the child is inclined towards courses like linguistics, like humanities, like languages, like literature, he must go to ISC rather than CBSE. Because the focus becomes a little more than the CBSE. Because it's what the child wants.
Correct.
Right? It's not that English is not taught in CBSE, but the way it is taught in ISC will be much different and much exhaustive, which is required.
Understood.
Coming to the international boards now. It's a myth that if we do IB boards or the A levels, I'll explain to you the difference between the two. It's a myth that we only do IB boards or the international curriculums if we have to send our children abroad.
Correct.
It's not true. All the Indian universities today recognize the international curriculums.
Okay.
And they are given admission based on the predicted grades of 12th standard.
Okay.
So also Mumbai University, NMIMS, all Delhi University, all the colleges, all the institutions, they are recognizing the international curriculum. Uh, and all the overseas universities also recognize CBSE and ISC.
Wow.
So it's not a mandatory. So you can
Yeah, a
study
lot of
anywhere.
parents say
You
that,
can
yeah.
study anywhere. There are advantages of international boards. My both kids are studying there, and I've taught in the ICSE and ISC
Right,
sphere.
right.
So I understand the
difference.
The difference.
The pros and the cons.
Yeah. So in the international boards primarily, one, yes, they are expensive. You
Yeah.
cannot escape that. International curriculum, lot of international faculty coming in, it's expensive. But if you can afford it, my suggestion as a career counselor is that you must give it a try for your child, because it's a global curriculum, it's a global exposure, and we are living in the world today where it's boundaryless, it's
Yeah.
seamless.
Correct.
बच्चे आगे जाके
क्या
करेंगे किस
Nobody knows.
किस दुनिया में जाने वाले हैं, it's all growing, and
Correct.
we as
Evolving.
parents have to also we have to also move out of our comfort zone.
Correct.
And let them understand and see how the world learns.
Okay. Wow.
So it is important. Whether they want to study abroad, whether they want to settle abroad, that's a different thing.
Correct. As you mentioned that
Yes.
वो तो आप constraint है
वो
ही
तो
नहीं.
constant है ही नहीं है. But it's the way you learn, the way world learns. It gives it exposes you to so many other
Correct.
things,
Agreed.
and it doesn't harm.
And then when you're talking about international board, and then we talk about IB and IGCSE again as two options. What's your take there?
I'll tell you. So one, yes. So international curriculum is a good curriculum
Option
to
choose.
if you can afford, it is a good one to
Okay.
choose from.
Okay.
Because there is no harm. You can still apply anywhere,
Okay. Yeah.
whether overseas or Indian universities.
Okay.
Second, so there are two international curriculums. One is the Cambridge curriculum, which
Yeah.
is called IGCSE. IGCSE is the 10th level exam.
Okay.
Like we have SSC here, or we have ICSE here. In the Cambridge, it's called IGCSE.
Okay.
And their 12th is called A levels.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So that is the difference.
Difference.
Right? And for IB, it's called IBDP diploma, which is 11th and 12th for the IB board.
Okay.
And their 10th is called MYP exams
Okay.
or checkpoint exams.
Okay.
Right? So this is the difference. But the primarily there are two boards, IB board and the
Okay.
Cambridge board. Right? And the difference is in the IB board, it's more holistic, more exhaustive, and more research oriented.
Okay.
And when I say it prepares you for the world, it prepares you for the global challenges.
Yeah.
It is making so you have 6 subjects to choose from. Now the main difference between Indian and international boards, and I think the parents must know that, कि Indian boards में बच्चे क्या चूज कर सकते हैं? बच्चे या तो साइंस चूज कर सकते हैं, या कॉमर्स चूज कर सकते हैं, या ह्यूमैनिटीज चूज कर सकते हैं. In international boards, they can actually pick.
Yeah,
It's a
they can
bucket.
pick any
They can
subject
pick.
they want
So if they would like, say, chemistry and they like business studies, they can actually pick both. There is no constraint of choosing
No
only
particular
science
stream.
subjects. They can actually choose. So in IB, there's an option of choosing performing arts as a core subject also.
Wow.
So they can experiment. They can do what they want.
That's wonderful. In fact, when I'm speaking to you, I'm sure all the mothers are excited seeing this live. और अब हमें समझ में आ रहा है कि करियर काउंसलर के पास जाना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इनफैक्ट आई सपोज आई मेट ऋतु एट अ वेरी राइट टाइम बिकॉज माई किड्स आर इन 8th. तो ऋतु आई एम कमिंग टू यू बट जो मदर्स हमें अभी देख रहे हैं, ऑफ कोर्स दे हैव अंडरस्टूड योर नॉलेज. Tell me a little bit more about why career counseling is so important. Like everybody I meet today saying we have to go to a career counselor.
Okay.
Suddenly हम तो नहीं गए थे यार, तो आप भी नहीं गए.
बिल्कुल मैं भी नहीं गई थी. And see, the times have changed.
Yeah.
And it's important to change with times. Now, in our times, we never went to. There was no talk of career counseling.
Correct.
How did we choose our careers? मम्मी ने कहा ये कर लो तो कर लिया. Friends यहाँ गए तो चले गए.
Right.
But the point is now, what is happening? Let's see. There is so much technology happening around us. There are so many innovations happening around us. There are multiple opportunities coming our way, and there are emerging trends. Now, it's very important to find the right pick.
Correct.
There are so many careers which are going to be redundant
Okay.
in next few years.
Oh.
So some careers like, so there are, I don't want to name the careers now, but there are careers which are going to be redundant because of the emergence of newer emerging trends, innovations.
Correct.
So now we have to upscale ourselves to that level.
Correct.
And plus, also the career counselors, what do? Is they make sure that they guide and mentor the child in a manner that he can choose the subjects which are related to not only his skills, but also
What is the demand?
What is the demand? What is the personality? What is his aptitude? What are his motivators? There is so much discontent.
If I want to ask you, Ritu, कि क्या services होती है इन सब career counselors के पास? Like, are there a bouquet of services with you when people come to you?
Yes, there are. So ideally, a career. So we can always customize our services for the clients.
Right.
But ideally, the career counseling should begin at the start of 9th grade.
Okay.
That is when the students should, that's when the parents should actually come to the career counselor.
Okay.
In the 9th and 10th grade.
Understood.
Why? Because the stream selection has to be done.
Okay, so mother's the best time to seek a career counselor
Yeah.
is when your kid is about to join 9th grade. Okay.
So how we begin is we evaluate the child on the basis of a lot of psychometric tests
Wow.
and counseling sessions.
Okay.
And what we try to measure is not only his credentials.
Okay.
We also try to measure his non-academic credentials. We also try to measure his personality, interests, aptitude, his skills, and then we give the apt career paths to him. So these would be the apt career destinations for the child based on what we evaluate.
So you mentioned psychometric test, Ritu, and I, coming from the corporate background, I totally endorse it. But tell, for the benefits of our mothers who are watching us right now, are these psychometric tests important? Can we really rely on them? Like,
Yeah.
Because at times I see a lot of mothers go to a counselor, get a report. So what is your suggestion there?
Correct. So I would put it, Neha, this way, that when we evaluate the child on the psychometric tests and the counseling sessions, we are measuring their interest and aptitude also.
Okay.
And choosing the career based on interest, aptitude, skills is very important. And I tell you why. We have seen a lot of people changing their paths.
Yeah.
A lot of discontent.
Yeah.
And we have seen children just, when they do something which they don't like, they get frustrated.
I know.
This is
And
the
there's a lot
generation.
of stress on them.
This is the generation which is not like ours. This is an ambitious generation. They need instant gratification.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's very important to help them choose the careers which are closer to
Meant
their
for
heart,
them.
which are meant for them. And that is the reason psychometric tests are important. And they are reliable. And these tests are not, physics, chemistry, math tests. These are the online situation-based tests developed by world-renowned psychologists, accredited psychologists.
All proven.
All proven. And they're almost 90 to 95% accurate. So that's
I'm sure Ritu, because आप बोल रहे हो अब तो हमें ट्रस्ट हो गया है, but tell me, आपने बोर्ड सिलेक्शन के बारे में बहुत सारी चीजें बताई. lot of our parents also face issues, especially around the streams, what you were talking about. कितने बार तो यही कंफ्यूजन होता है, साइंस चूज करे, कॉमर्स चूज करे, ह्यूमैनिटीज चूज करे.
Of course.
हमारे यहाँ पता नहीं इंडिया में, आई डोंट नो, अगर हमारा इंप्रेशन है कि अगर बच्चे ने साइंस लिया है तो ये बच्चा बहुत ब्रिलियंट होगा इसीलिए साइंस ले रहा है. तो इफ देयर इज अ ब्रिलियंट चाइल्ड हु इज वांटिंग टू पिक ह्यूमैनिटीज, the parents will not let the kid pick up humanities.
And that is how we grew.
Yeah.
But the times
These are
have changed.
conditioned.
Parents, mommies, the times have changed. We need to see what kind of careers are associated with these streams.
Yeah.
And so is journalism a bad career? Of course not.
It is not.
Is social media influencing? Neha, you
Not
are a
at all.
social media influencer. So is it a bad career? Of course not.
But a relatively very new career. as you rightly said.
So these are the emerging trends. So pick up science in 11th and 12th if you want to do engineering,
Or medical.
architecture, medical, pure sciences, product design, health allied services, biomedical career, computer, and say we are talking about machine
Coding,
learning,
machine
artificial
learning,
intelligence,
big
all those
data.
careers, big data. So pick up sciences for that careers. Pick up commerce if you want to do business.
Okay.
accounting, you want to become a chartered accountant, you want to do finance, you want to get into banking, you want to get into insurance, pick up commerce.
Okay.
If for humanities, when do you pick up humanities? If you want to get into mass communications, if you want to get into social media, if you want to get into linguistics, so this is for the 11th and 12th grade.
Yeah, correct.
Sciences, commerce and math. And then follow it by a bachelor's and a master's degree. And bachelor's and master's degree could be in any of the fields. You can actually actually mix and match. So if you are say a business person and you completed your commerce, nobody stops you from taking computer science and bachelor's. You must take, because computers. So I have always told my clients, my parents, that math and computer science is a course, is a skill that will be aligned to each of these streams.
Okay.
So do not miss math and computer science. Math and computer science along with sciences, commerce and humanities. But keep math and computer science as a common thing. Because
that's why even in international boards, the math is always a compulsory subject.
It's a compulsory subject. Math and computer science is something which you should not let go, because this is an integrated thing.
Very nice tip. Yeah.
And math and computer science will be helpful in all the streams that you choose.
And Ritu, as we are talking, our mothers are very excited, and in fact they've started sending us a lot of questions. So I'll try to first pick up one question from a mother who's asking me, जो मुझे भी नहीं पता. She's asking what is liberal arts degrees and what is this newest trends around liberal art colleges? ये क्या है भाई?
Okay, yeah. I'm sure mothers are coming up with so many queries, and I'm happy and I'm glad and I'm hoping that I'm able to resolve all those queries. Coming to your question, Neha.
Yeah.
Liberal arts, it's a new thing. It's not new. It's not new globally. It's new in India.
Okay.
Though not very new, but yes, in recent times it has picked up very well.
Okay.
Now, liberal arts, it's not humanities.
Okay.
People say, "Oh, arts degree hai." It's a humanities degree, but it's not like any other arts. It is a combination of subjects. Now, liberal arts it comprises natural sciences.
Okay.
It comprises social sciences. It comprises math. It comprises arts. It comprises performing arts, and it's the amalgamation of all these.
Okay.
So, what do the children learn in liberal arts? They learn to become humans.
Yeah.
It's not technology based.
Okay.
It's what makes us human. It's what makes us
Wow.
So it's the need of the hour. If we are looking at the world, or the global world, or the international world, where technology is the upcoming thing, it's ruling, but so is the need of an hour to become human, to become more grounded to our societies.
No, I'm sure, Ritu, you have given a little, and mother who has specifically have these kind of queries, keep commenting in the live thing also, but I will always suggest that if you have an individual query, you can always reach out to Ritu. Her number is mentioned here. You can note it down. You can reach out to her for a specific counseling session also, because things like these are great FAQs. Or keep commenting whenever Ritu and her team will get time. They'll try to. Ritu, I have to go to question number. Next, which is coming from.
I'm so sorry. On just one more thing,
Please.
which I want to add. That liberal arts education, as I said, is a weaving of all these subjects, even sciences. So it's not that liberal arts will not have math or physics or chemistry. It will also have. It will have the interwoven thing, and it will actually teach you it will not teach you about how to solve the problems. It will teach you to where to find the problem.
Wow.
It will teach you why the problems exist.
Okay.
So it will basically, what does liberal arts education do? It increases your inquisitiveness.
Yeah, you'll think more.
It develops your curiosity.
Wow.
So that is, and the Ashoka University, Kriya, Flames, Bennett, Christ, all these universities are liberal art colleges.
Okay, so in India we have liberal art colleges. Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Preeti is asking me a question here, which I suppose a lot of mothers will relate to. As a college counseling expert, what do you recommend, Ritu? Should she send her kids for a bachelor's degree or a master's degree when she has to send them overseas? So,
Okay.
bachelor's degree overseas or master's degree overseas?
See, it depends on few factors. It depends on, of course, finances is a big factor. But other than finances, also what is important to understand is what course you want the child to be in.
Okay.
So, but there are, and what is your primary objective? So, if the objective is to settle abroad after the studies, working there, settling down there,
Right.
then undergraduate education is better.
Okay.
And there are reasons for it. And the reasons are actually important, which most counselors will not tell you.
Okay.
The reasons are that, one, it's early adaptation of the life, which is they're making friends after 12th is easier than making friends after graduation.
Agreed.
Right? So you adapt to their life. But other than that, social adaptation, which is important, lot of research-based projects, a lot of research-based learning, internships, lot of growth opportunities, lot of learning experiences, which are very important for your master's application, are not taught in India. They are taught there.
Okay.
So when you're applying for the master's degree after completing your Indian degree, you don't have that kind of base, and you lose out. So these students who studied there have more competitive edge than you.
Okay.
That is there.
Okay.
Because for master's application, all this is important.
Okay.
The second thing which is very important is that children who want to seek permanent residency,
Okay.
doing an undergraduate college in that undergraduate course in that particular country
University, yeah.
gives you more weightage and more more points in the point system.
Okay.
So you are at an advantage.
Okay. Understood.
Also, very, very important. If I want to send my child to a postgraduate degree in, say, US and Canada, they only recognize 4 years of bachelor's degree. In India, we don't have 4 years of bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
We have only 3 years.
Yeah.
Other than Ashoka, Kriya and engineering or these courses, even BBA is 3 years degree program, right? Ashoka, Kriya, Flame have now started 1 year of extension and giving a 4-year degree. But
Even in these different streams.
yes, they are giving a 4-year degree because they understand and realize. Yes, there is a need. But in US and Canada, they only accept 4 years degree. So then it becomes a difficult thing for so you are losing out on now US and Canada as a overseas destination.
Okay. Okay.
Unless and until you're an exceptional student.
Okay. And because you're talking about overseas universities right now, Ritu, tell me, is there a difference between the admission process of overseas universities and Indian universities?
Yes, it is extremely different.
Extremely different.
Yeah, and I tell you how. So in Indian universities, the primary difference is that the admission starts after your 12th grade exams or the results.
Correct.
Right? Maybe the forms filling will start earlier, but it will only happen later. So we don't have to worry much about it. But for the overseas universities, the admission process for the bachelor's degree will start right standard.
Oh.
So you have to be filling in forms
After 11th
only. Then you have to also appear for your SAT or GRE, whatever is relevant to your field. So you have to appear for those SAT exams and you have to do the preparation for that. They're also looking at so in Indian universities, what they look is 12th grade marks and your merit in your entrance exams if you are appearing for an entrance exam. But for overseas universities, they are looking at SAT, they are looking at your application, they are looking at your letter of recommendations, they are looking at the statement of purpose that you have to write. You have to tell them why you want to study this course, and you have to also do a CV for them. You have to also write a couple of essays, which are random essays about in the university selection process, and there might be interviews also.
Wow.
So there is lot.
So you help parents with all this?
Yes. So I completely handhold when I meet my clients. I completely handhold them from 9th grade onwards till the college students, whatever their
So
requirements.
we love you already. Okay, Ritu, but सबसे बड़ा question, and I suppose you also subtly mentioned there. What are the estimated cost for graduation and master courses in these decent overseas universities when you were talking about? I'm not talking about very cheap or very expensive universities, but a decent.
Yeah, decent. I would not say tier A universities, but the public universities which are a little lesser in comparison to the private universities.
Yeah.
So US will be somewhere around 50 lakhs a year. I'm talking about tuition and the cost of stay.
Yeah.
So entire cost. I'm talking about cost of attendance.
Correct.
So US is about 50 lakhs a year. UK and Canada would be about 30 to 35 lakhs a year.
Okay.
Singapore will be about 20. Why 20? Because Singapore universities encourage you to sign a bond with them that you will work for the Singapore government or you will work in the Singapore for 3 years. If you don't sign that bond, your fee increases. Right?
Very
So that's how. Germany, the education is free. So it's only for the state. There is no tuition fee there. But then the language issues are there. So it's all Australia.
But then Germany, it's free only for their own.
No, for international students also. But they must be proficient in German language because most of the courses are taught in German.
Okay.
So they must, and if they can do so, Germany tuition fee is free and only boarding lodging charges.
That's amazing.
So that's
Okay, fantastic. Ritu, अब हम लोग जब ये सारी बातें कर रहे हैं तो एक क्वेश्चन है जो I suppose all the mothers would have. You were talking about a lot of career being, going out, a lot of careers being introduced new. अगर आप थोड़ा सा guidance दें कि what are the future career trends as per you?
Of course. So as I said, and during our discussion also we came across those careers. So one thing which is very, very prominent is, and that's what we keep on hearing, is artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Data analytics,
Yeah.
Data sciences, machine learning, actuarial sciences. Then forensic accounting is very big now because of forensic accounting.
Okay.
Renewable and alternate energy solutions.
Okay.
This is something environmental sciences, natural resources conservation, ocean sciences. Psychology is very big thing. Neurosciences, public health. Occupational therapy, social media influencing, digital content, all these are emerging new trends. And to top all of that is biomedical engineering.
Okay.
Oh my God. These are the kind of
lot of new trends. I'm sure mothers, after taking a leave from here, you'll be able to research more about it. And Ritu, of course, I know that the questions are not ending. My mothers are still sending me more questions. But mothers, we are short on time, so I have to cut the live short by asking Ritu a very important question. Ritu, India itself में आज 1000 से ज़्यादा universities है, and we see universities coming in every nook and corner of our country. On what basis should students, choose these universities? Like, what is your advice there? Because they might not go abroad, they might just pursue it here. But then give your advice on that.
Correct. So on the base, so be it Indian or be it overseas universities, the factors remain the same, and the factors are the courses that you wish to apply to.
Yeah,
that is very important.
Are they available?
Yes, are they available and are they credit worthy? Are they creditable courses? Which
how do you measure that?
Which means, so creditable means, do they have enough reputation? Is the employer reputation around those courses good?
The faculty.
Not the faculty, the employer, the people who employ.
Oh, the campus.
Yes.
Okay.
So employer reputation, academic reputation, how strong the course in itself is, the child's own credentials, whether the child will be able to fit into that university or course also or not, and that's where our psychometric tests and our evaluation helps them. The research opportunities that are being provided to them, and if it's an overseas university, you must also look at the cultural fitment. You must also look at the location and safety. You must also, parents are also very particular about what kind of percentage of international students are present in those universities. Will my child not feel alone there? So adaptability, all those factors have to be taken into account.
Very, very important tips. I'm sure we would have not thought of all this on our own, and I'm sure mothers, you loved the session we had with Ritu. In fact, more than anything else, of course, we all know she's a subject expert. She knows her subject very well. But what is more exciting is she's a women entrepreneur. She's a mompreneur who's driving it so amazing. And Ritu, kaise karte ho? Matlab itna sara cheez and so much of knowledge. You must be having a success mantra of your own. Please share it with our mothers on a bye-bye note.
Of course. Thank you, Neha. Thank you that I was actually wanting to tell about this because this is something which I truly believe in.
Okay.
And I really am really thankful that you asked me this because what I believe is an ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept, which I am sure you would have heard about.
I've read the book,
So ikigai is a Japanese concept which means reason for being, which is your reason, your true reason for your existence. And I can apply this to my counseling services also, the advice that I give my students. So what I tell them is, you can find your ikigai, you can find your reason if you choose a career which is based on 4 factors. And no one factor should be missing.
Correct.
These 4 factors are, you should choose your career, you should make your dream career by choosing 4 factors in equal proportion. And these 4 factors are what you like doing. Choose your career where you will like doing what you like.
Correct.
You are good at that thing. Sometimes you may be good at thing, but you might not like it.
Correct.
Right? So you have to choose what you like. You have to choose what you are good at. You should choose what you can be paid for.
Correct.
And you should choose what is the demand.
What the
world needs.
True.
And if you have all these 4 together,
That's very
you
true.
should be able to find your ikigai. I have found mine. Let me help find yours.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm so glad you talked about Ikigai.
Yeah.
Mothers, do look out for this concept on Google, because Ritu has given a very golden mantra to all of you. I'm sure, and with all the best reasons that you find your Ikigai, as Ritu has found hers and I've found mine.
Yeah, of course.
Ritu, it was so wonderful to have you on this
Thank you
session.
so
I know
much.
the conversation went very long, but we were not really satisfied. We wanted to talk to you more. And mothers, if you still have questions around Ritu's subject, please feel free to write in the comments, either on Ritu's page or on Momo Mumbai Moms, and Ritu will ensure you get an answer for your query. Plus, her numbers are there. Please reach out to her if you need guidance from amazing career counselors. Right,
Thank
Ritu?
you.
Thank you,
so
Ritu, for
much.
coming in here.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you, the entire team. Thank you, Unimo and Momo, because it has been a wonderful platform.
Thank
and I really appreciate. And I would love to talk to all the parents and help their children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye, mothers. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
watching
Good
us.
afternoon. Thank you. Bye bye.